for him. It was tough.
Spain got the win that they need to qualify for Euro 2024. They are through. Taking a look at the standings now. They take Scotland with them, although Scotland's fine form themselves has helped them out to that one. But Scotland have sat at home watching that one and get to celebrate as well. Let's welcome in Luis Garcia and Jan Aage Fjortoft to talk more about this.
It must be frustrating for Erling Haaland being a Norwegian.
Speaking of sitting at home and celebrating, that was Craig.
The only thing, listen, let me tell you something. I've always said this. I am not a supporter. If they get there, they get there. If they don't, they don't. The only thing I'm pleased about, give it a rest. The only thing I'm pleased about is going to stop all those Scottish journalists who are bleating on like crybabies over the disallowed goal in the Spain game in Seville. Oh my God, they felt as if the world was against them. When they could not see it, the decision was cast iron correct. The boy was stood in front of the goalkeeper. Did you see it?
Yeah.
They argued. It's going to cost us a place in the European Championships. No, it's not. You know why? Norway are not very good. Ask Jan.
You're wondering, this man used to represent his country, Scotland. He's played in a World Cup for his country
But you may have noticed. I'm not doing that now. I'm sat here.
Hang on, Jan. We must speak to Luis Garcia first.
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, they are the ones who've qualified.
Get Fjortoft off. No, Norway are not.
Luis Garcia, congratulations. You must be delighted.
Yes, we are. We are definitely. We knew that we would have our chances. Today was to do enough to get that result and to qualify. It was important because Norway was playing well. It's a very strong team. I think that today didn't put a big test against Spain. They were kind of very aware at the back in the first 45. And when they tried to go forward, Spain was already ahead on the score. And, well, I think we did a good job just managing the times during the game. With a fantastic, once again, Rodri, that is the key player in the center, managing tempos, and managing everything that it needs the team. And scoring that goal from Gavi, that again is with a few doubts, with a lot of players in front, but finally we kind of get it for us. So it was important to just get the win. The team will continue growing, still needs to be improved. I think that we are missing pieces up front. We need players who can score goal. Today was Gavi, but Morata didn't have many chances. Just that one that put it in, but it was in offside. And I think that we are going to need something else. We have players that they will join us in the coming weeks and coming months. Definitely important players. But at least I think that La Fuente managed to put a group that is very united, very with the same mentality. A lot of young players who are thinking about it and they are hungry to make a good European competition. And, well, they're going to be there and hopefully they can shine.
Yeah, and you were in the stadium tonight. At that moment, when the goal wasn't given, you just saw all the Norwegian fans very happy. Maybe they had a lifeline.
Yeah, it was a kickstart for us. And I would say maybe the second one, the goal that they were given, maybe an offside as well. But it doesn't matter because Spain, in all areas today, were a lot better than us. We didn't lose our place in Germany tonight. We did it in Georgia. In Georgia, we lost it in 4 minutes at home and we won it up against Scotland, losing 2-1. Yeah, in the stadium today, there was party. They could have sold 100,000 tickets. Our king was there. The prime minister were there. The minister of sport were there. But Rodri was there. Rodri was just running that game. He could have had a cigar. He could have had a paella. He was so good. And with our kids, we got a lot of young talent players, and I'm not talking about Haaland and Ødegaard. They are experienced player now, but we have a lot of young players. But Spain in all areas today, if they needed another goal, they would have scored a goal. If we ever have scored 2, they would have scored 3. So, but I was just listening to Craig talking at the beginning now. I understand the Vikings 1,000 years ago, if they talked like Craig did today, why they took their boats going to Scotland. But I want to congratulate Scotland. They have been excellent in this group. They started fantastically. So we just have to say Spain there deservedly, and Scotland done what we hoped that Norway would do. We are smaller football nations where we need this passion, we need these players develop during the qualification. Scotland have done that, Norway haven't.
Let's be honest. Jan should just be made to sit in the corner during this whole show and just This is not for losers. This is for people that have qualified. This is not a loser show today, Jan. This is a winner's show today.
He'd be sat there a long time. It's not since 2000 they've been.
And let's be honest about Alvaro Morata. When Alvaro Morata was born, the midwife put the flag up for offside. I mean, he plays on the...
Yeah, they didn't have VAR. They didn't have VAR.
No, but they still checked it.
Lewis, I guess 100% agree with me. Morata was good today. He's clever. The way he kept the ball up. He played as a striker. When he was needed, he went down to midfield, keeping the ball up. A very clever striker. I think it's more that goal, if he hadn't have touched it, would be an own goal, of course. And it wouldn't have been an offside. That is the instinct of a striker. I think he can get away with that. But Morata today was excellent as well. A good footballing striker that I love to watch.
Well, he looks as if he's got his confidence back playing for Atleti, doesn't he? He's certainly... He looks to me, and has always looked to me, and I don't know if the guys agree or not, but he has a talent. There's no doubt about that. He has all the physical attributes for that position, and I think that's why he's played for the clubs that he's played for. I mean, don't remember, you go through the list of the clubs that he's been at. Not all successful, but there's a reason he's been at these clubs. But he's certainly, for me, a very much a confidence player. And at the moment, he is one of the main guys at Atleti. We saw that, we've seen that this season in particular, but we certainly saw it in the big Madrid derby. We're seeing it again for Spain. And they're going to, and both Atleti and Spain are going to need that. You know, if Spain are going to have a successful Euros, then all this nice football at times that they play, it needs to have an end result. And if Morata continues the form that he's in, then it's going to obviously give them a better chance. But he's playing as well as he has for, I'm going to say, 3 or 4 years.
I think Morata's one of those frustrating players for me still. I still feel for all his attributes, and for as much as his game has grown, and Craig's absolutely right, Jan speaking about how good he's been as well and how his game has evolved. I felt Morata was at his best at Real Madrid and Juventus when he was second fiddle. And then being asked to be the main striker at Chelsea, you saw struggles. And I think early on at Atleti, he kind of struggled as well, but has grown into the fact that I'm the star man. I'm the centre forward here. And I think you've seen his game progress as a result, but still, I just feel that some decisions he makes just leaves you scratching your head a little bit. And I appreciate Jan as a member of the Strikers Union. Had that goal, or had Spain not scored, Norway won, I don't think anybody would be talking about how well Morata played, how well he held the ball up, you know, even though all other things being equal. That being said, Spain got the job done, and again, I think this is showing to be a team that are growing and getting better. I'm still not sure that they're good enough to win the competition in earnest, but they certainly have been improving over the last few years.
But Luis, if Morata's out of form or Morata's injured, it's a position that I think Spain have always been relatively deep in over the years, but they don't seem to have a lot of depth in the striker position at this moment in time, do they?
No, not at all. We don't have that many players who can score goals, that many players who can play as a number 9. If Morata is not there, the other option we saw in the last few minutes, it's Joselu. But definitely something very important, you guys were spot on, is about his personality. He needs to feel important. He needs to feel that he is a key player. And De La Fuente knows that very well. That's why he gave him the armband. He said, you are going to be our number 9. You're going to be our centre forward. You're going to play almost every single minute when you are ready. So off you go. It's important that he feels that way. Even today, that I think Giannis is mentioning about his movement, he's trying to hold in the ball. When you compare Morata with the players he's surrounded about, players with a lot of quality, Rodri, Gavi, Fabian, players who with the ball, they are so good. They have so much talent with the ball. Without the ball, they just move around. But Morata is not that kind of player. He's a player who is annoying for the opponent. He's always moving around, he's getting your back, and that's something that distracts a lot for defenders. So that's why he's so important for Spain up front. Definitely a very important player for the Spanish team for these Euros, because as you will say, Craig, we don't have that many strikers right now.
Little sigh of relief there, Shaka.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Alvaro Morata learned from his earlier mistake. No, he wasn't interfering with the goalkeeper at all. I thought that was clear. As I mentioned, there was a long review with this one. I think it was more to do with when the ball hit Morata the first time, whether he was offside, even though the ball hit him and came back out. But I think replay showed that he was on. got other side of the defender, then didn't get the touch I was looking for. So in the end, I think, quite the right decision was given. Jan and the 100,000 people who were there.
The king didn't think so.
The king didn't think so at all. I saw Jan throwing things at the VAR official. But I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, Jan, unfortunately, lightning didn't strike twice. Were you all waiting with bated breath in that moment as well?
No, we weren't really, because I think at least there was a feeling for me that Spain would, if they didn't get our goal, we couldn't be that lucky. The game today, they were just a class in every areas. They were better than us, so they were never there. I think we created 1/2 chances, as you showed there. Erling Haaland had 1/2 chance. That was all we had. We had Oscar Bob, a great talent. He played in the starting 11. Didn't work out for him today. Then we put Nusa on from Club Brugge. He came on, but it never happened to us. And yes, we've made some improvement in terms of playing, but when we play Spain, they're just so much better on us in that area as well.
Jan, was it a frustrating night then for Erling Haaland, not getting the service he might have liked?
Yeah, absolutely, and these are the games we were never acted today. We had Cyprus that you can't compare with Spain, of course, but you can get yourself in international games, whoever you play, you can take yourself self-confidence. The biggest analysis now in Norway is this a fiasco, because our national coach said before the qualification started, 99% will be in Germany. Well, the 1% wonder happened.
Oh. Well, you will be. You can always go and watch it, to be fair.
Well, you can. Okay,
but you know what?
Yeah.
But you know, Erling Haaland's going to have to get used to this.
Is he though?
You know, well, why not? Well, he can't change countries.
No, he can't change countries. But Jan, is there any hope for the future for Norway with this generation?
Well, there is hope. I mean, we are getting forward. Our problem as a small nation, and I'm not saying this in terms of victimize or anything, but small nation needs to have balance in their team. And so you will suddenly have some years that you will have good players. We have good players now going forward. But for some reason, Norway don't develop defenders anymore. And today, we didn't create a lot of chances going forward, yes. But when we see in the whole qualification, we have conceded, I think, is it 11 goals or something the last couple of years, in the last 10, 12 minutes. We are playing with a centre half that is playing on AstroTurf in Norway at the back, who is slow as a turtle. I mean, we can't have that. That is not what you're doing. And now, to be fair, Örjan Nyland now has come back and playing for Sevilla at the moment. We have had a trouble at the goalkeeping position. So what I'm saying is we need to have a balance in our team. And when you ask me, I think this team will get better. But as a nation, as Norway, we need to have a balance in the team. We need to have different players in different positions. We can't have 3, 4, 5, 6 players going forward doing fantastic stuff if we keep conceding goals. Then we will never qualify. Last time we qualified now was in the year 2000. That is 23 years ago.
Maybe it's the time to get that video again where you had chasing the fish.
I should have used that as the analogy.
How do you expect Norwegians to get... But, you know, even going back to when I played against Norway and then just slightly before that in Jan's time, 2 or 3 years before, you look at the defenders, certainly the guys that I played against and played with, you know, and I'm sure there's more names, but you look, Henning Berg, you know, Ronnie Johnson, Erling Johnson, my Chelsea teammate who had been at Bayern Munich. There's just a long list.
Rune Bratseth, who played at Werder Bremen.
There is a list of quality players, and I think the issue Norway are having is one that Scotland have had big time, that has been alleviated somewhat by the excellent job that Steve Clarke has done. It doesn't mean that Scotland are all of a sudden bringing through star players. They're not. They are not. They've got 2 or 3 really good players, like Robertson, like McGinn, and 1 or 2 others. And then they're just beefing out a squad. And what Steve Clarke has done is, and this is now the second major tournament he's got them to, the Euros in 2021, and now this European Championship in 2024. He realised what he had and how he could go about playing with what was at his disposal. They didn't try to be anything they were not. They didn't try to be passing it around like Spain. They didn't try and be something that was never going to get them there. But he has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant at getting the most out of what he's got. Now, a month ago, people in Scotland were panicking about this. Norway are going to catch us. Norway had to get the result against Cyprus. They did. They then had to beat Spain, which they obviously have not. Then they had to wait and see if Scotland were to beat Georgia or even get a point. And then they had to go to Scotland as well and beat Scotland, I believe, in the worst-case scenario from the Scottish national team. That was such a long shot from the position they were in. The likelihood of that happening was probably 1 or 2%. So, you know, to see them come up short now against a decent Spanish side is not a surprise. And they're just going to have to figure out how they can get through a group stage with what they have at their disposal.